Hi everyone, today we're going to be doing a 5-minute gentle stretching routine. This is great for any soreness in the hips or the lower back. And as always, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more videos like these. I look forward to moving with you, and my name is Julie. Today's stretches are going to take about 5 minutes, but with instruction and holding it, we're going to hold each for about 30 seconds. So don't be surprised if this video is a little longer. I promise it's more. We want 5 minutes worth of stretching, and I'm going to be talking you through it. So the first stretch we're going to do, we're going to start on all fours. There's no right or wrong way to get down to the floor. If you need to use a chair or a stool, perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and get onto my mat here into an all fours position. And then also keep in mind, if your knees do bother you, go ahead and fold a mat. You can put a pillow underneath your knees, roll up a towel, whatever makes it more comfortable for you to do these movements, I definitely recommend. Also, if it hurts you to have your hands here, go ahead and bring your hands to a fist. And that's also a great place to start if you have any sensitivity in your wrists. But starting here, we're going to be on all fours. We want to have nice, comfortable spacing here. This is great for even just sitting in that position is great. If you find yourself like me, I sink into my couch and I just turn like a shrimp. My whole back is curved. I look like a little cooked shrimp. So this is great to restore that natural curvature in your spine, especially if you have low back issues. It's easy for us to slump and tilt the pelvis as we're sitting. And so if you're sitting or you have back issues, this is a great one just to restore that nice natural curve in your lumbar spine. So we're gonna go ahead and do that together. This is the cat-cow pose. I'm sure you've heard of this or you've seen this before, but we're just gonna do that together to warm up a little bit before we start our more intense stretches. All right, so coming onto all fours, pulling in the belly button to support your lower back and your spine. We always wanna keep that engaged to protect our back. You're gonna first sink into the cat position. Now, some people like to inhale on this. I prefer to exhale. Totally up to you. If you have a Pilates or a yoga technique that you prefer, definitely do that. Then from here, we're gonna lead with the belly button. So pull in the belly button and arch the back. We're gonna breathe. I like to breathe out, but if you like to breathe in, breathe in. Good. So if you can't tell, I like to breathe out on both moves. Breathe. As you come in to the cow, and then into the cat, the scaredy cat, arching the back here. I always like to finish this back into the cow so I can really feel my spine realigning. I'm sending my pelvis up. And then from here, let's go ahead and bring it up into a kneel. This next stretch here, we're going to start on our knees. This is for the iliopsoas muscle. Now this muscle, you've probably heard of it. It's notorious for causing back pain. It's a pretty large muscle that spans from your hips all the way to your lower back. And if it gets tight, it can mimic sciatic pain. It can also cause a lot of discomfort in the hips and when walking. So this is a great stretch to do. I'm going to show you the more dramatic version on the ground, but you can also do this one standing just by getting yourself into a lunge position. So to start off, we're going to get into 90, 90, 90 here. So we've got 90 degrees at the ankle, 90 at the knee, 90 at the hip. What I like to do is an Elvis Presley forward motion in the hip. So think a little bit of a hip thrust here. This is a tilt. Back to kind of the shrimp position that I do when I'm sitting on the couch. We want to just tilt the pelvis forward. The reason why I do this is because otherwise I feel like I can go too deep into this stretch, and I don't really want that. We really want to target this area. So do a gentle forward movement and then bring your hips forward. You're already going to feel a more intense sensation here. Once you're here, take that same arm as the leg that's back and the same side you're stretching. Take that arm up and reach over like you're doing a morning stretch. Rise and shine. Good. Just going to stay here for a few more seconds and breathe. Good. If you want to deepen it, go ahead and deepen it. But my general rule of thumb is on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you feel nothing, 10 you feel a lot. This discomfort should be about a 4 or a 5 on that scale for a good stretch. Good. Then we're going to bring it back, arm down, hinge back, and then let's switch. Other side. Once again, breathing well, belly button pulled in. We're going to first pelvic tilt here. I like to squeeze my glute a little bit, but not too much because this isn't an exercise, this is a stretch. Then we're going to hinge forward. Now, I don't go very deep, but you might find you go really deep. You may be flexible here. That's totally fine. If this is enough for you, perfect. We all have different levels of stretchiness and flexibility, so don't worry if you're not looking like me or if you're going way further. Great for you. I'm really happy we're all doing this together. Arm up, we're gonna lean over. Same thing, nice good morning kind of stretch. And you should feel this kind of near your waist down into your pelvis and into the hip flexor. It's a deep muscle, so you won't feel it in your back, even though this is a stretch technically for the back. And holding this, a couple more seconds. Remember, 4 out of 5 out of 10, 4 or 5 out of 10 on the discomfort scale. And then we're gonna bring it up gently. Good, and rest. We're gonna send one foot forward now. This one I've seen a lot in yoga, and we're gonna kind of do it, but a little bit differently. I have a pretty thick, cushiony mat here. I think this is about 1/2 inch of really, really nice soft foam. But if you're using a yoga mat or the floor or a carpet, feel free to lay down a towel or anything else for more comfort on your knees. Back to the stretch. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hinge our hips backwards. So now we're thinking of that cow position we did earlier. Arch the back and then lean forward, leading with your chest. This you should feel in your hamstrings. Now you'll see I'm not going very far. For those of you who are really flexible, you may be bending all the way over or even reaching toward the floor. Totally fine. If you have your hands here, you can bring them to the floor if that's not too intense. But notice my back is keeping that nice natural curve. So we aren't doing any of this. This is not a good stretch for our back. Now we're really going full shrimp mode. So what I want you to do is think about really sending the pelvis back first, and that's what's gonna target your hamstrings a little bit better. Holding this for a couple more seconds here. And then what we're gonna do is gently come up. Once again, there's no graceful or right way to do this as long as you're doing it. So I'm gonna switch my legs. If you need to rearrange yourself, go for it. We're gonna get the other leg out. Same thing here, hips back, thinking about that cow position, chest up, and we're gonna hinge forward, maintaining that beautiful curve in our spine. Now, my left leg is my stronger leg. We all have a leg that's kind of our dominant leg, so you may feel one side being tighter than the other. Perfectly normal, just breathe through it and don't push it if you feel asymmetrical. It's okay. We're all asymmetrical beings. If we were perfectly symmetrical, we would look really weird. So, and you can look that up on Google. And so, we're gonna send our pelvis back, chest up, nice and comfortable here. You can see I'm wobbling a little bit. If I had a stool, I'd probably hold on to it. And then we're gonna bring it up gently and switch. So now we've got our hamstrings done. Remember, we're breathing through this. This next one is a great one for the back, especially if you felt that in the psoas, but you're still feeling some discomfort in your lower back. So what I like to do is come into a shallow V. So this is not the time to show off our middle split. This is an opportunity for us to stretch our back. So remember that. Nice shallow V. We're gonna sit up really tall. Now, if this is hard for you, go ahead and place a pillow underneath your rear or roll up a towel or roll up your mat. That's gonna give you a little bit more elevation and it will be easier for you to get these legs straight. If they are a little bent, that's totally fine. That just means that we need to stretch a little bit more and you're having a little tightness. Totally okay. So if this is how you look, great. If you need to raise your pelvis, go for it. So there's a lot of different ways that we can make this comfortable as stretching can be. Sitting up nice and tall, remember the belly button, pulling it in to support our back. We're gonna take one hand behind the head, cruising, and we're gonna take the other hand and reach toward the arch of the same foot. So for me, I'm going left hand up, right hand is reaching to the right arch. Once you're here, you're gonna take a deep breath and you're gonna rotate, pulling this elbow up. Rotate here. Once you hit that spot, you will know you're gonna feel the stretch in your back from about below the bottom of your rib cage to the top of your hip on the left side. The other thing is we wanna make sure that our hip stays down. So if you find your hips rolling, lighten up the stretch a little bit. But we're gonna reach here and hold this. Once again, 4 or 5 out of 10 on the stretchy discomfort scale. Then what we're gonna do is take this hand that's behind our head, reach, and bring it to meet the other hand. Now, this is the only time I will allow you to have a little bit of a curve in your back. I will allow it. But what I want you to also think about is keeping that left hip down. So that opposite hip is staying down. That's getting that stretch along the back here. And then we're going to gently bring ourselves up along the leg and repeat on the other side. So hand behind the head, other hand toward the arch of the foot, reaching. If you can grab on, go ahead and grab on. Rotating from the elbow up, keeping your right hip down. Good, and then remember to breathe, still gently pulling in the belly button to keep that support on the lower back. And we're just gonna hold this for a few more seconds here, rotating, relax your right shoulder. Good, we're gonna hold on to this. I like to look around, and then we're gonna take this right hand, reach over, and then go ahead and meet your hand as you're stretching. And you can allow a little stretch if you wanna reach your arm here. You're gonna feel that stretch between your scapula, your shoulder blades. That's totally fine. Go ahead and embrace that as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and walk our legs gently back up, our hands gently back up our legs. Reaching now to the middle. I like to walk my hands here first, and then allow your back to curve, keeping both sides of your pelvis evenly on the floor. And what you're gonna do here, if this is all you got, perfect. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, try to bring your elbows closer to the floor. This is about as far as I can go today. Some days it's more, some days it's not. All of it is good. And we're gonna hold this for a few more seconds. You should feel this sometimes in your lower back if you're having a day where you're feeling more tightness. Sometimes you'll feel this in your hamstrings. All of it's good, as long as it doesn't hurt. We don't want any pain. And then we're gonna gently walk our legs back up, bring our legs together, and we are done with our little low back supportive stretch. I will see you next time.